Hello again, everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2026. But for these guys in the Formula Indy Series, the season continues. And we got still 2 races to go to decide the championship. And it's really coming down to 2 drivers, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. Hello again, everyone. I am Gary Gotzo, the voice of the FIS. And welcome to P1's broadcasting coverage of round 11 of season 8 of the Sim Racing Warehouse Formula Indy Series has returned to the world's most famous race course, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, for the 5th running of the FIS Indy 250, our last oval race of the season and our longest race of the season. As always, joining me in the booth, as he has all season long, is Stevie Larkin. Stevie, Happy New Year. Good to have you here back in Indianapolis. All new year, all new car for some of these guys here at the race course. Never before used the hybrid here for many of these drivers. Maybe some have, but there's been not an awful lot of races at Indianapolis since a new car come out. But using the hybrid for the very first time here on the big oval. And we have a tight points race, only 20 points separating the top 2, but that's really it. There's only 2 guys left for this championship, and there's only 2 races left.
Two drivers, 2 races indeed. That's Alex Chilcutt and Gavin Sanders. And one of them being Indy, you know that not just them, but everybody wants to win this one. You always want to win at the Brickyard. And especially so when not only was there a championship on the line, but also you have a new car to consider. You were talking about that. The hybrid engines have finally come to iRacing on the oval side, and it is proving to be quite interesting in the way that drivers will have to use it. And you're going to be seeing, I think you're going to be seeing a lot of overtaking here, like a lot of races at Indy can be accused sometimes of being a bit of a procession, especially in the mid race. I don't know if we're going to see that this go around, because with the way the hybrids have been working, the way it's been described, I think the overtakes are going to be something else. And like lots of overtakes in a race at Indy always puts on a great show. I think the Brickyard is going to be, this one's going to be a classic, I definitely think.
Let's get the
and
points
especially
up.
Since
go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, and especially one other thing to consider as we're going through qualifying. Of course, they're doing the 4-lap averages for qualifying, as is Indy tradition. But kind of an interesting turn of events in terms of how the race is set up. We have some heats apparently in the in like the pre-race stuff. So not sure how that's all going to transpire, but I'm curious.
Yeah, we're just going to roll with the punches here tonight. 3 minutes left in qualifying. The top 18 have went ahead and taken time. Currently on the provisional poll with about 2 minutes, now just under 3 minutes left, is Logan Edwards, Caleb Bency, and Titus Sherlock, your top 3. There you saw the driver points for a long time on your screen. Here are the amateur points. Nick Goyette with a pretty big lead over Sarah Guerrero. Sarah, unfortunately, is going to pick up a penalty from the last race at Brands Hatch, and will have to start either from the pit road or at the EOL. I'm not quite sure which one they're going to rule on her for an oval race. But Sarah, there is going to be at least a pit road or some sort of start of the race penalty for Sarah. But there you see the point standings. Nick, with one more good race, might clinch up the amateur championship with a race to go. We'll see. He leads 148 to 115, and Cody Claiborne is in third with 90 points. Let's put on the team points as we see Dakota the Maid making a rare appearance, a former winner here at the Brickyard. In fact, there has never been a repeat winner here in the Formula Indy Series in the 4 previous races. Caleb Bency has a win here. Dakota won back in Season 3. Bruno Miranda won in the blackout season. So did it really happen if it wasn't on a stream? I don't know. But he won back in Season 5. And, of course, the last time we were here, part of a 300-mile, and we're doing 250 miles today, but part of a 300-mile race back when we did 120 laps in Season 6. Indica Scarlett got her first and only win here in the Formula Indy Series. So a couple drivers with wins here, getting one of their few wins albeit on the oval here in the Formula Indy Series, and Dakota DeMate is one of those. Here are your team points coming into today's contest. Mellow Mode Dynasty 491 over Eclipse Blue 482. Very close still in teams race. Anything can happen, so I think that will definitely carry over into the next race, and will have to be determined at Watkins Glen. Eclipse Competition is in third, Stoma Road is in fourth, and Nexus Esports at fifth, a distant 363. So right now, I'm pretty much say the top two are locked in for possibly making it to the final race to decide the championship. And I think third might be locked into their position there, and Stowe might also be locked in to at least fourth. That is your points championship. While we still have time, and of course, a graphic that everyone is well familiar with, the schedule graphic that I left up far too long at Auto Club back in week 2. Well, here it is again. One more time, you get to see it.
You will never live that one down, will you?
I will not live. I won't allow myself to live it down. But Watkins Glen, next race on the schedule coming up here in just a couple of weeks. So we are in the penultimate race of the championship, season 8, and we are already discussing season 9. So stay tuned. We might hear more about that before the end of the season.
So it's looking like the first of our 6-lap heat races are.
I think they're going to try to fast forward through these. So what we're going to do is we'll just put up the B-roll here real quick and give you some panoramic shots of the Speedway and the Indianapolis skyline, and we'll see what we'll be able to do here. And while we're waiting for things to unfold, so we were back here in Season 1, Round 4, Season 1. Caleb Bency beat Liam Quinn by almost 0.4 of a second. Shane Coogan finished third of that season. Then we went to Season 3, Round 6. And these are on the old scan, by the way. Dakota DeMade beat Gavin Sanders by 0.7 of a second over Nate Seifer, finished third. Back in Season 5, Round 8, Bruno Miranda beat Caleb Bency by a 0.1 of a second. 0.141 of a second. Neil Lusher getting his best finish here in the Formula Indy Series, finished in third. And then the last time we were here, back in Season 6, Round 7, 120 laps, Indica Scarlett over Michael DeTurk. Those are two names we haven't seen in the cockpit here in a while here in Formula Indy Series, by 0.615 of a second. And Dakota DeMade finished in third. So those are the last 4 previous races we've had here in the Formula Indy Series. And this is the 5th running. Hey, if you're looking to save some money with great prices, no sales tax, Sim Racing Warehouse is your U.S.-based shop for all your sim racing needs. Plus, for a limited time, you can save 5% off with a coupon code, which you can find in the description. Just type in the code SRWHOUSE in the coupon code section on checkout to save even more. Go to simracingwh.com to learn more today.
Still waiting to see how they're going to resolve this situation. And in fact, might be good for one driver that it should be, and that's in fact our pole sitter, Logan Edwards, who has had a connection failure just now. So hopefully he is able to get back in time. But I'm hearing cars, I'm hearing the pace car actually on the circuit for a ghost heat race, I guess you could say.
We'll just call it a track inspection.
Yeah, that's true. It's true.
Track inspection.
You need the track to be in best shape for this sort of thing. And especially considering the time of the year is now, and winters in Indiana can be pretty brutal. This place. Actually,
I'm watching right now the pace car going through turn 2. Turn 2 has had a bit of archaeology done on it in the off season for the real Indianapolis Motor Speedway. They needed to take out some imperfections in the pavement there, and part of that involved taking the first couple of layers of pavement, including that from the latest paving done in '96 and the paving before that, I believe, done in the '70s. They actually got down to the original road level of bricks that they put down back when the original brick surface was the surface here at the Speedway, and they were doing a little bricks trackside archaeology of bricks, pulling up some of the original bricks of the brickyard that they built when they built the place back in the early the mid 1910s or 1900s to 1910. First race here, I think, was 1909. Is it 07 or 09? I think it was 09.
No, I think in Milwaukee, it was 1909 was the first race. And the first 500 was 1911.
Yeah, 1911 was the first 500, but there were automobile races here before then. And then, of course, some of the early races here were actually balloon races, if you can believe that. But they were getting down to brick level that they were pulling up. So.
And also motorcycle races.
Yes,
let's not forget, that was one of the big reasons why MotoGP came here very often, because of that because the track's two-wheeled history. So the pace car has done the first inspection run of the day. So let's see how they will speed their way through this. The session is 10 minutes, and the game split it up into 4 heats. I think the most they had was 8, but it's only 4 with the number of drivers here, which is for the best, honestly. We don't want to be sitting here twiddling our thumbs for that long. Looks like Logan Edwards is going to get back.
It looks like he's back reconnected, so good for him. He is. Looks like he's going to be starting for the pole. We will get into the starting lineup here momentarily. I don't think we can give you a starting lineup. Actually, we can give you a starting lineup.
I believe can.
I believe we can. We only had. Oh yeah, we. You want to go ahead and give the starting lineup?
Indeed. I'm seeing 26 cars taking the grid here tonight.
Not a bad lineup. Not a bad showing, yeah.
Yeah, and especially for a series not particularly known for oval racing. But starting off on the pole today, the recently rejoined Logan Edwards in the number 49. Very fast all season. Of course, won at Homestead, Miami. So this track is definitely within his wheelhouse. Alongside him, Caleb Bensi, the reigning series champion in the number 1. Titus Sherlock in the 311 is going to start off second alongside Zachary Smith. Very good run for the 70 machine. Let's see if he can hold that one on for the New Zealander. Row number 3, Logan Spath and Alex Chilcutt, the championship leader. Of course, keep an eye on him. Jeremy Fairburn will start off in 7th place. The winner last time out will start alongside James Watson in the 39. Row number 4, Michael Costello and Tanner DeFavis, 2 of the Eclipse cars, looking to make up for, I'm sure, a very disappointing qualifying run on their part. As they are both Road to Indy drivers, they definitely want to assert some dominance here. And row 5 will be Byron Daly and Matthew Short, rounding out your top 10. Good qualifying efforts from them. Row number 6 will be Nick Boyette and Nate Siefker. Row 9 will be... shit. My bad. Yeah, sorry. I've had a long day today, folks. Row number 6 will be Nick Goyette and Nate Siefker. Row 7 will be Gabriel Aslan and Matt Schlosser. Row number 8 will be Sean Begley and Sarah Guerrera, though Sarah, of course, has to take a penalty at the start. Then Kevin Tomba and Ryan Sheehan, Tristan Moss and Zach Flom, Sebastian Gianni and Dakota DeMay making his return to the series, Dan Miglin and Hayden Herman. Everyone from Tomba on back has not posted a qualifying time. Not for a lack of effort, I must note, but because if you touch the wall in any way, shape, or form during the qualifying run, your run is basically toast. And that may very well have been the case for some drivers that were expecting a lot more out of this event. So let's see if they can make it up during the big show at 100 laps today. So this one is going to be an interesting showing with the new hybrid engines. Let's see how everyone adapts, and let's see if some big movers can get up to the front here, which is what we kind of expect to see, that the field is not really expected to be very static, shall I say.
All right.
So pace car back out again for another inspection run, as we'll say.
Of course, the single track lap record, or single lap track record, excuse me, set back in 1996. Hard to believe. It is now 30 years coming up this year that the track record was set here at the Speedway, but it still stands to this day. The unofficial track record, the official single lap track record, and the 4-lap track record are 30 years old this year. Set back all by Arie Luyendyk, all set back in 1996. The unofficial lap record here, 239.2, set by Arie Luyendyk on Fast Friday in 1996. The single lap track record, 237.498, set by Arie Luyendyk on day 2 of qualifications in 1996. And the 4-lap qualifying average, 236.986 miles per hour, set by Arie Luyendyk, also on day 2 of qualifying in 96. And these are one of the reasons why these records are still standing, because they were second-day records back when we had day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Now we got qualifying down to 2 days. We got Saturday, and then we have Bump Day, which features also the last gas run for the pole, I guess, with the Fast 9 or Fast 12, how we've done it in the past. So those are your records. Your official race record is still holding over from 1996. That's set by Eddie Cheever in 1996 there, the 500, 236.1. However, your 4-lap pole record is set by Scott McLaughlin. He set that back in 2024. That's a 234.2. And your official race fastest average is 190.690 by Elio Castroneves when he got his 4th career win at Indianapolis in 2021. So some fairly new records there, but the main speed records, fastest lap in the race, fastest lap in qualifying, fastest average in qualifying, and fastest lap in practice ever were all turned 30 years ago. Hard to believe that.
Fantastic. And it really shows in Scott McLaughlin's case that it's not like the speeds have abated very much. It's not like everyone just suddenly went slower. They may have for certain years, but we're definitely getting back to the point where we're getting closer and closer to that record pace that we once saw in the 90s. Whether we'll see it in qualifying for the 2026 Indy 500 remains to be seen. But I would definitely be curious, but I'm always curious whenever qualifying comes around, is one of the drivers making the field of 33 going to sneak in the fastest of all time and beat out Arie Luyendyk's record at long last?
Not unless they turn that boost up, I don't think. Even with the hybrid in the cars this year, the pole speed was slower for Alex Palou than the record that McLaughlin stood up in 2024. So the cars are heavier. The hybrid is adding more of a boost in race conditions, but not really adding much of that boost under qualifying conditions. But we'll see. An extra year of development of the hybrid, tweaking these cars, massaging these cars. You know, we don't know what tire Firestone will bring. You know, the conditions also make a difference. Is it going to be cooler? Going to be warmer? Who knows? So we still yet to find that out. Maybe in this year's real qualifying leading up to the real 500, maybe we see. But I know Arie Luyendyk. There's an interview of him out there somewhere on YouTube where they ask him about the record, and he's to the point that he wants someone to beat it because he's tired of everyone asking him, when is someone going to beat your record?
Just get it over with as far as he's concerned. Oh man, that's gotta be grating on you. I gotta agree with you there. Like, I would love
to have a record like that stands for 30 years, to be honest with you.
Yeah, like, I love the record for sure. It's just like, when are people just gonna shut up about like people trying to beat me?
And on top of that, I mean, the fastest lap ever turned in an IndyCar is 26 years old now. Going to be 26 years old this year. So, I mean, that's set by Jill DeFerrin, who won the 2003 Indy 500. And unfortunately, Jill has passed here in the last couple of years. But, you know, you got to... On your tombstone, it says it could say world's fastest IndyCar driver, and that still holds true.
Indeed, it does.
Yeah,
and I don't think it's going to be touched anytime soon.
I don't. It would have to be done. It would have to be done here at Indianapolis because, of course, they don't run these cars at big ovals anymore. I'm hoping that they will eventually return to Michigan. That will be probably the closest place they could do something like that to. It won't be at Pocono. There's really not another track they can go to get that fast at because Fontana's gone. So unless they build another super speedway out there, and if they're wise, never build a racetrack in Southern California. Rip Fontana, rip Riverside, and rip Ontario. The only reason Long Beach is still there is because it's a temporary track, and they can return it back to the buses and the cars when race weekend's done. But if they build another big super speedway somewhere, and not out in the country in the middle of nowhere like they did in College Station, was it College Station? Yeah, College Station,
Texas.
where Texas A&M is. I mean, that was literally out in the middle of nowhere. If they put it in another better place, maybe we could build a palace of speed that IndyCars could go to and maybe turn a 240 mile per hour lap. But yeah, you're right. I don't see that 240 falling anytime soon. Maybe not even in my lifetime. I don't know. And I hate to say that.
Big question. I mean, you never know with these sorts of things, but like the way things are as they stand, like it's hard for me to really see Gilles' record being beaten.
Well, still waiting on how we're going to get to race session here, but we are just in a bit of a hold. And hey, what is lately, especially with the way the weather has impacted the start of the Indy 500 the last 2 years, what is a pre-race hold at Indianapolis but not part of the show? If I had everything queued up, we'd play a little back home again in Indiana, maybe a Delta Force and everything. But no, we'll just sit here and discuss race and track records while we get everything ready to roll here at the Brickyard for the Formula Indy Series, around 11 of a 12-round schedule. And coming up next is their last road course race of the season when they go to Watkins Glen. The career wins leaders here at the Brickyard in real life, of course, it is the Mount Rushmore, excuse me. I almost said Rush Limbaugh. I don't know why I almost said that. The Mount Rushmore of IndyCar racing, and that is A.J. Foyt with his 4 wins, the last of which being in 1977. And then we have Al Unser Sr., the last of being in 1987. Then we have Rick Mears with the last being in 91, and Helio Castroneves in 2021. Those are your 4. Franchitti, Louis Meyer, Maury Rose, Johnny Rutherford, Wilbur Shaw, Bobby Unser, Uncle Bobby there. They all have 3 wins. Your active leading drivers now, of course, are Castroneves, Takuma Sato, and Joseph Newgarden. If they all decide to make Indy, I think Castroneves will be back as an Indy-only driver. I'm not sure if Takuma will. If Taco does, Taku and Newgarden will each have 2 wins here at the Brickyard, and a host of other drivers with 1 win. Including Alex Palou, your defending Indy 500 champion from 2025. It's hard to believe that I think the number of all the races and everything, I think there's only 25 drivers in the history of the 500 have more than 1 win. So getting a win is one thing. Getting that second win, that kind of puts you in very rare and honored a company with a lot of big names in auto racing history. So and you could now put Joseph Newgarden in that class as well. And I think there's time for Joseph Newgarden to get a 3rd win. Probably was in the running for a 3rd win in 2025, Stevie. But I think he's definitely primed for a 3rd win, regardless of what you say about Team Penske and how they manipulate or work around the rules. Remember, if you're not cheating, you're not trying, and that's probably a NASCAR person that quoted that. But anyways.
It's as old as racing itself.
Right. But I think there's time, certainly in the career path and the timeline for Joseph Newgarden to definitely get 3 4, maybe 5. What's not running, certainly driver running out of time, and certainly probably should have about 3 wins to his credit, is Scott Dixon. Of course, Scotty D had a race. What was it, 2022? It was in his lap, and he came to pit road, and he sped on the final pit stop, and it cost him that victory.
That one,
that's the one that he regrets. But
for him.
It's hard to believe, though, that here in just a couple years, it's going to be 20 years since his first win in 2008.
Incredible. And Scotty is still winning, and he's still in contention every single year he's been racing. The dude is incredible. There's no doubt about that. For sheer longevity, he's like Scott Pruitt, like the initial person that I think of, because Scotty Pruitt was racing well into his 50s, and he was still winning races. That could well end up being the case for Scott Dixon. And also, fun thing I saw recently, Scott Dixon just got knighted.
That's right. It's Sir Scott Dixon.
Sir Scott Dixon.
In New Zealand, though. He was crowned in the New Zealand there.
Yes, he was. So certainly add a regal touch to that for sure.
And he is within, folks, just so you know, he is within spitting distance. I mean, he gets a couple of wins this year. He got a win last year at Mid-Ohio. Remember that. He kind of backed into it, but a win's a win.
Yep.
But if he gets a couple of wins a year, every year for the next 3 or 4 seasons, he's in spitting distance of A.J. Foyt's all-time record of 67 wins. Scotty D has 59. And so you might actually see everybody here in your lifetimes. Yeah. He has 58 in IndyCar. He had 1 in kart. Remember?
Oh, 1 in Champ
his
Car. You're
first
right.
win at Nazareth. Yeah. So he has 59 wins. And, of course, all the kart wins now count toward your IndyCar total. So all those wins that Seb Bourdais got and Paul Tracy got in Champ Car, well, those count toward your IndyCar totals. So 67 for A.J. Foyt, 59 for Scotty D. Mario Andretti has 52, and if Will Power puts together a couple of nice seasons with his new squad that he's on, and he just started at the start of the year with Andretti Autosport, he has 45, and that is 4th all time. So let's not rule out these old guys at the top of the standings here in the IndyCar victories history. They might move on some of these old names that we're used to hearing about, the all-time greats of Foyt and Andretti and Unser and all. They're doing some cases better than some of those guys. So we are now, I believe, we are lining up and getting ready to go racing.
Yep, we are in the warm-up now, and I will say, I'll cap that off with this. It's a meme I've been seeing for years, but it's Scott Dixon as Thanos. He is inevitable.
I bet he'd like to snap his finger and get those last couple of wins, though.
Yep. Yeah, get that car out of my way and let me win this thing.
Checking the weather checking the weather has been, and I think they'll actually fast forward through the warm-up. I'm not sure if they do, but here are at least the conditions for warm-up. 84 degrees on the track temperature, and that, my friend, is not very warm at all. And unless they take out a lot of downforce out of these cars, we could be in for a possible pack race, at least for the first stint, until they start getting separated by green flag pit stops. And that's what we'll need, really, to separate this field. Otherwise, we might be in for a bit of a pack race with track temps down in that temperature range.
Very much so. Especially, I'm looking at the cloud cover here, and that's it's definitely giving me, plate track vibes. It's giving me a lot of close racing here. I'm definitely curious. Combine this with the new hybrid motors, I'm definitely curious to see how the opening of this race goes, let alone the whole thing. It doesn't seem like too many drivers are taking to the track for the warm-up.
I think they're all warmed up. I think they're ready to go. They had about an hour practice going into this, plus the time they spent before race day doing any other test. And there have been some Indianapolis races leading up to this races in other leagues. Of course, the PRI Hoosier 500 in December. The Global IndyCar Challenge. I don't know if any of these guys were in that one. They had a race here. And of course, the Indy Oval or the iRacing Indy Oval Series just the last week or so had their race here on the calendar. So if you were a participant in the official iRacing races, there's a week's worth of races here at Indianapolis. So and that's a lot of chance, first chance, a lot of drivers got to use the hybrid outside of if you didn't participate in the GIC or possibly in the PRI Hoosier 500. So we're still waiting for the session to be over, and they should be fast forwarding, or if they can't, let me see what we got here for. There's a minute and a half left in warm up, so they might just let this expire.
Probably so, yeah.
But while we got a little time here, this is a fixed setup race, setup supplied by the league. This is of course, you see the facility in all its glory from the blimp angle here as it's floating over turn 3. That is that's the infield dirt track right here that they've since built in.
I think everyone's disconnected, by the way. I think they restarted the session.
Okay, well, let's do this. And let's see if we have another session out there. Do you see the session?
Let's see. Yes. Okay, let's see if we can log back in on this one. There should be a second one down there.
Do you know session number by chance? So I know I'm loading into the right.
I'm not even sure if I am. Join tournament practice / race. Session.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Okay, closed 6 minutes ago. Yeah, we'll figure this out, folks. It's been kind of chaotic, especially with the error that was made when setting up the session.
It's not a very easy. I will say this: it's not a very easy thing to set up to do a 4-lap average speed qualifying. This is, remember, this is a NASCAR sim, and IndyCar is kind of squeezed into it. It's kind of the old square peg round hole analogy here. And yeah, again, this is why you don't see three wide starts here at Indianapolis, or average speed qualifying very easily for leagues, because it's really truly 3 wide starts and 4-lap average speed qualified is truly uniquely an IndyCar and Indianapolis only thing. You don't see NASCAR do it. You really don't see any other forms of auto racing do it. So that's why
they actually started a while back, it looks like. And I will run you through our order as it stands. Titus Sherlock officially is in the lead of the race, but he's battling pretty hard with Logan Spath and Michael Costello. Really a pack race, as we're saying. We're working lap number 7 here. After all that has transpired, we were not... I don't think we were told about this.
No, I didn't hear about it, so...
Yep. So... Titus Sherlock still holding on to that lead. Jeremy Fairburn now trying to push him up there, and Logan Spath slots into second place. And it looks like it's been going 2 wide, multiple cars deep for several laps at this point. So as we pretty much suspected, this is turning into an interesting start of the race here. Definitely not a single file affair. And Logan Spath taking the fight up to the high side. His teammate Caleb Bensi up on the high line, trying to go with him. It's basically 3 Eclipse cars, and Sherlock, Fairburn, and Costello fighting up against the Stowe cars. And look at Byron Daly on the bottom, making it 3 wide. Brilliant diving move there. Moves up into 4th place there. Everybody has to check up behind him a little bit, so they lose a bit of ground. But I think they'll be able to make that up pretty quickly. But Byron Daly on the offensive early from 11th up to 5th. Make it 4th, in fact. We looking good here, Gary.
Yeah.
All right. Meanwhile, yeah, we apologize for the craziness here. It's just that I had some, I guess there's a miscommunication with the organizers here after the errors when it came to setting up the session. But Jeremy Fairburn now scored as race leader. But Titus still sitting in the wings back there, and I'm having an eye out for the 2 championship contenders here. Alex Chilcutt, actually one of them that's not here is Gavin Sanders. So Gavin Sanders, 2nd in the points, not starting here tonight.
That might decide the championship. We'll see how this thing rolls out. But Chilcutt, he is right now 8th on the racetrack. So we're going to go 3 wide here at the start-finish line, at least thinking about taking it 3 wide at the start-finish line. But 2x2x2 looks like the start of the race if we actually covered that. But here we go through the south end of the racetrack in through 2.
They've been keeping it clean so far at the very least, and top 3 is all Eclipse, and there is a 4th Eclipse car in the mix, and Tanner DeFavis back there in the fighting for the top 5 alongside Byron Daly. So Eclipse is looking very strong here tonight. Ooh, a bit of a weaving back there as everyone's jockeying for a position. We're working lap 11 out of 100. It's a long way to go. It's one of our longest races of the season, and it only makes sense being here at the Great Brickyard itself.
There was damage on a car that I saw on the back of the pack there, and I might have iRacing might have forgave him. I'm not sure who it was. It was in the neighborhood of Dakota DeMaid, Dan Miglin, Sean Begley back there, and I think it was forgiven.
And I'm not having a look around trying to see any sort of damage there, but one driver I'll say who had a horrible start is Logan Edwards. Our pole sitter has dropped all the way towards the back of the top 15, and he is losing spots right now. Zach Fahm is now all up on his gearbox here as we complete lap 13. Down in 14th position is Logan Edwards, so that is certainly not the start that the winner at Homestead Miami Speedway, and definitely one of the oval aces we've had this season, wants to start the biggest event of the year.
Chilcutt is back to 13th, so he's down 7. So no one is giving the points leaders, the point leader, any breaks right now. But up front, Fairburn looking to maintain the momentum that he picked up at Brands Hatch with the win. He is your leader now, coming down the main straight off of corner 4 on the north end of the racetrack, coming right at you. It's Fairburn, Sherlock, Spath, Daly, and Costello, your top 5. Now, I'm going to ask you, Stevie, with being at a 100-lap race, what is the best way to do this, you think? Now, normally we've raced these cars for so long. We know it's about 30 laps, give or take, on a stint. Even more so with these heavier hybrids. We see that 30 number seems to be very, very firm as we see them again 2x2x2 going into turn 3. Do you pit very early at the earliest window, which would be like a lap 20? And then we do 20, 50, 80 and go home? Or do we do 30, 60, 90 and then pit inside the last 10? I know most people, going back to the old joke that you and I kind of talked about before here, the old Nick DeGroot rule, or the Nick DeGroot strat, where he just always came in with 30 laps to go, whether he needed it to or not, and always seemed to work out for him. I mean, what are you thinking here? Do you come in the early window, or you go until as long as possible?
Yeah, the Nick DeGroot strat really... that's a good way of playing it safe ultimately towards the end of the race here. But early on, with the way they're looking right now, I'm not sure if I would come in early yet. Obviously, we're lap 15, so in terms of raw fuel numbers, we'd be able to make it here if someone were to come in now, and they would have been able to do so about 5 laps ago. And so I would imagine the first signs of activity on that front may come around lap 20. I wouldn't be surprised if some drivers do try to come in around lap 20. But I think a lot of them would stretch it out to 30 here and see what they could get, especially since like the big unknown factor there is cautions. And of course, you can save a lot of fuel under caution by putting it in map 8 and just coasting around for a few laps. So you could possibly eke it out if cautions come into play here. So far, it's been pretty clean, but getting towards the midpoint / end of this race, you never really know, especially since that's when people start sprinting the fabled last 50 miles that Bobby Rahal always talks about in a 500-mile race.
Cars getting a run on one another right in the middle of the corners. I think that might be where some drivers are opting to use the hybrid. The general discussion that's been got back to me on the intel of using the hybrid at this race course, you can use it twice on each of one of the straights. You use it coming off the corner, regen in the middle, and then use it on the last part of the straight going into the corner. You don't really use it in the corners. You don't really use it in the short shoots at all. You could use it. Certainly, you could regen if you're in the draft. And that's the other thing we were talking about. If you're the leader and you're not able to get into a draft of maybe a lap car in front of you or something, when you regen, that causes drag on the car, and that will cause you momentum loss. And then all of a sudden, whoops, you could lose the lead or, make a challenge for the lead when you're just trying to regen, as we see him. Oh, look at that 4 wide. That was nuts at the bottom by Costello. Caution, big wreck in the back, and that's Dakota DeMaid.
Dakota DeMaid in trouble there in the 82. Rear wing is busted up on that car. Yellow flag flies, first one of the day at Indianapolis, lap number 18. And looks like, that was not DeMaid that started it. It looked like contact between Dan Miglin and another car trying to see who. Matthew Short got sent around into the wall hard.
Yeah, so there's 2 separate incidents here. Goyette, who is our amateur points leader right now, and he's now out of the race. So this is going to open up for Sarah. If Sarah just gets to the end of this race and finishes, going to make up points on Nick, and gets a really good finish, make up a lot of points on Nick. But Nick, I think, just literally ran over Dakota, unfortunately. Watch this. Go back a little ways in the replay here, and you see.
Yeah, let's see.
And watch this. It's just letting up on caution.
And,
and really, Dakota had no place to go. Let's see what happened to Short. Did he get some help?
Matthew Short.
Yes, he did. Dan Miglin just did a full send on him on the inside and gave him a bit of the chrome horn and sends Short around.
And we'll see the strategy game play out there. And it looks like majority are coming down pit road here, lap number 19. So this may well, barring things changing mid-race, of course, Alex Chilcutt actually staying out. So
interesting.
He looks to be the only one staying out here so far.
Well, watching from
everybody else coming in.
Nick Goyette's point of view, he definitely sees the car going in the wall. I don't think he anticipated. I think what he didn't see is Miglin slowing down, causing Dakota to slow down, and then the closing rates on these cars. I mean, you can't call that ARCA braking. I know some people will be like, oh, he had plenty of time to slow down. I'm showing this at half speed, by the way, but he does not have time, really. I mean, the best thing for him to do is immediately seeing that car, maybe get off the power, and maybe he was. We'll go back and watch this at full speed.
Yeah, probably didn't expect Dakota to get off the power when he did.
Yeah, I don't think he did. And that's kind of what happened. Dakota really was an innocent passenger here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
We'll go back and watch from Dakota DeMaid's point of view.
everybody concluding their pit stops here. Fairburn, Sherlock, and Spath, the leaders among those. But Alex Chilcutt is the leader of the race, the championship leader. Stays out, gets some extra points for leading a lap at the very least.
And that might be what he's looking for, because he's now coming down pit road. So he's going to cycle all the way to the back, and that will turn the lead back over to Fairburn. So Chilcutt either wanted to lead a lap there or didn't know or missed pit road when it was open, but he's coming in now. But, Stevie, with the way that they're racing, with being so close together here, and we'll look at the conditions one more time. 89 on the track temp, so very, very cool ambient and track temperatures going on here. That's going to keep the racing close. He might have opted just to, I'll go ahead and lead a lap, and then I'll come to pit road, and I'm just going to hang out in the back because all I need to do is really stay with the pack, and I'm not really losing a lot of time.
Exactly, and the main thing he's gunning for is a championship, and with his main championship rival Gavin Sanders not showing up today, this is really the main thing he needs to do is just keep it smooth and consistent, maybe get a bonus lap or two, and get a bonus point or two for leading laps, and really... he just needs to just plug away, keep doing what he has been doing, and maybe come out with a good result at the end of it. You don't need to do anything super crazy, and maybe it could even be the Nick DeGroot strat starting out as well, where you just take it easy and wait till the end to make the big moves.
Yeah,
and I would not be surprised if everyone's thinking that.
Yeah, you get 1 point for leading one or more laps. So 1 point for pole, 1 point for leading one or more laps, and 1 point for the fastest lap. And the fastest lap so far, boom, there you go. Dakota DeMay got the fastest lap. So he will get a point for his troubles and the early out. Getting ready to go green. Pace car is off the track at lap 21 of 100. And this is going to set up things. So we're really looking at about lap 50 for our next round of pit stops, and then lap 80, and then a short stop there at the end to get you home for the last 20 laps. So that's kind of how it's looking right now, but that's if we go and stay green. But the way we've been so close together racing-wise, staying green might be a bit of a challenge. Too wide down the backstretch as Logan Spath is right there, too. I think he's just biding his time right now, knowing that even if he goes to the front, there's no place to go when you get there. Just hang out and keep your car in one piece and underneath you as we watch him go too wide into the short chute.
Yep, trying to get some clean air over that front wing there. I'm also looking at Nate Seifkers getting himself into this fight from 14th to 5th now and fighting it out with Caleb Bensi for that top 5 spot. But now Nate Seifker has definitely inserted himself into this situation, and Logan Spath, car on the wall, turn 1!
Schlosser.
Trying to see who... Schlosser. Car is heavily damaged, limping along there. No caution is out, though. He's managed to gather it up.
He caught him into the wall there. Let's see what happened. He's side by side with Sarah Guerrera. So Sarah, probably, at this point, got to drive safe. You're going to get some points in this amateur championship. Sarah gets the aero wash and just kind of runs right up in the mat, and Matt kind of into the wall like that. Not kind of, actually into the wall, as the rest of the cars behind take evasive maneuvers. But unfortunately, the guy that finished on the podium at the Milwaukee race a season ago with a spectacular strategy, his day is done as well.
Absolutely brutal stuff for Schlosser. And I'm looking at this. The pack has really been formed once again on the back straightaway for this lead fight. Fairburn, Sherlock, Spath, Seifker, Costello, Bensi, Daly, DeFavis, everybody is here, and everybody is fighting for every inch of real estate they can get. The top 3 all eclipse as it stands. Fairburn, Sherlock, and Costello holding off Team Stowe Maroon and pretty much the entire field at this point. Look at this pack that's been forming here. We're a quarter of the way through the race, and it's still this close.
I don't know. If I think Chilcutt might have made the big brain move, going to the back and staying out of. We'll look at Chilcutt. There he is. If something happens and a big one occurs, he has himself a quarter straightaway to figure things out quickly and avoid trouble and to miss all the action. But maybe going to the back might not be a bad strategy with the way that they are racing up front. Tooth and nail, throwing a lot of elbows out at the moment.
Yeah, definitely pretty chippy right now, and we're not even close to the end of this race, so everyone is fighting out hard. And Team Eclipse is running pretty big team defense at this moment here. Logan Spath is the odd duck out in terms of the teams. And Spath really staying strong up here. He's fighting and he's hanging tough with them. And everyone else is looking for any sort of gap they can get, or any sort of gap they can get to get the win and get the air over their car more than anything else in a lot of cases there, because there's a lot of dirty air being kicked up by every car around you, and you want as much grip as you possibly can here.
Eclipse train trying to form on the inside, but also the meat in the Eclipse sandwich is Caleb Binsey in the number one as he pushes up and has Byron Daly on the outside of him.
And meanwhile, his teammate Logan Spath is now firmly in the slipstream of Jeremy Fairburn there. 3 wide, almost 4 wide there going into turn 1 there. Look at Tanner DeFavis on the bottom of the track there. Everybody gets an order. And look at Byron Daly around the outside. And to the lead in this race. Whoa, what a bold play. Byron Daly in the 06. He's going to lead a lap here at Indianapolis. Isn't he?
That is not, he's not going to lead the lap, but that is a Thomas Scheckter level move there.
Scheckter would definitely be proud of that one. Byron Daly really making his presence felt, almost hip checking there. Titus Sherlock there as Team Eclipse tries to reassert itself at the front of the pack. But everybody else is saying, hey, this is a race we can win too, and I don't think they're wrong.
19 cars together, throw a blanket over them, coming up to the third way, almost a third of the way through this race. 28 coming to lap 29 of 100. Here we look at the whole field all together one more time down the main straight.
Here comes Siefker up the middle, 3 wide there, and Siefker's going to lead that lap. Into turn number 1 they go, and Nate Siefker, former series champion, takes the point in Indianapolis, throws dirty air over Jimmy Fairburn.
Spath into the wall, or it might have been Caleb Binsey, one of the Stowe cars, into the wall in the short chute a little bit. But you're right, Nate Siefker, it has been a while since old Nate has seen victory lane, and he would like to get a win here at the Brickyard.
Gets shuffled out of it, though, because once again the Team Eclipse cars cycle themselves back to the front there, and Byron Daly now is sitting in third, looking for that opportunity like he did a few laps ago. As they head down the front once again, kind of a gap there in the middle there, and I think Logan Spath had an eye on it, but not quite enough to get there just yet there as Daly takes it to the top 3 wide.
I think we need a ride with one of these racers. Let's pick Caleb Binsey. We'll do our defending series champion.
I think there's a bad seat in the house on this one, but that's a good one.
Big roll out of it. He's in 4th gear, keeping those revs high.
Yeah. Trying to get the grunt on exit there with the higher revs.
They're now really turning fast race laps in the 213, 212, 214 range. And he's lifting and dropping gears in the middle of the straightaway to keep himself out of the mess. They're getting big runs, and there's just no place to go with them. 4th gear again.
Exactly. That's just how big the pack is being shown. Look at how close everyone is. And you really cannot just mash your throttle down and hold it in the middle of the corner here, especially with all these cars here throwing up dirty air on each other at over 210. You are not going to have a fun time if you just decide to stick your foot in it. And Siefker, looking at Siefker around the outside, trying to make a run at them once more. He's definitely enjoying not having to worry about the dirty air for the time being, but everyone else, look at the runs everyone's getting there. There was like at least 3 cars trying to make a dive on someone into turn 1 right there.
Riding with Siefker, he's in 6th gear, not even shifting. But if you're riding with Binsey, you hear him going up and down on the gears. Siefker decided, I'm just going to stick it in 6th, and he's going to try to pin Sherlock to the bottom. and he gives them room as they're going to think about 3 wide like a parade lap for real here in Indianapolis, going to turn 3, but Seifer wisely takes a different path that allows the 2 Eclipse cars to get a beat on him and take the shot in front of him. Now they're going to go 3 wide down the front straight. Nope, Seifer going to get back in line. No point pushing the issue.
Byron Daly, though, he's going to go down to the low side, tries to get a run, not quite enough to get by Logan Spath just yet. But Byron, like really a lot of these guys, Byron, Caleb, and Logan, they are trying to make the best of any sort of run they can get, and they're getting big runs here. It's just that there's this big rolling roadblock in front of 2 Eclipse cars and Nate Seifker.
There's some screenshots for you. Oh, the car behind! Oh, wow, Daly, Sherlock side by side there in the short chute running out of room.
Tomba's around. Kevin Tomba in trouble in turns 3 and 4. I think another car may have gotten collected as well. Everyone's dodging out of the way there. Whoa.
Sarah Guerrera.
Sarah drops back down through the field here, but a miracle that
no, that's
no
not
one
Sarah
else
Guerrera. Sarah Guerrera is still rolling. That is Sean Begley, Zachary Smith. So we're going to go back and see what happened here. We got 2 kind of identical cars out there. Sorry for those that are Sarah Guerrera fans. But there goes Smith into the corner. Oh, there's a car already in the wall. Not sure who that is. That's Begley.
Yeah, Sean Begley.
Tomba, did he roll out of it?
That's a good...
Oh, Begley gets into the back of Watson. He goes into the wall. Tomba gets a big run. The car to the inside takes him out, gets loose. I think these are all unrelated, or they might have been just because you're lifting. Well, I'm not sure if they're unrelated or related as to if you sometimes, you know, if you
4 right though, up at the front of the pack.
If you take your foot, and we'll go back to the live coverage, but if you take your foot off the accelerator on these cars in the middle of the corner, sometimes you kind of unload the back end. And I think maybe that's what was happening for some of those drivers as they're trying to get off the throttle, take evasive action, and then the back end got light on them. As we go 3 wide, back to live action here, trying to see what happened in that incident. They didn't bring out a caution, but it looked like it may have eliminated 3 cars, so 3 more out.
And that could very well have been the case, what you were describing there, especially since we were talking about before we went live here, that one of the things the drivers noted that, especially when you're coming on the pit road, the back end can get very lively on these cars there. So that's definitely a case there where you come off the throttle, get onto the brakes. Ooh. That could well be a situation. What we saw there was like the back end coming loose there. So definitely one of the new realities that drivers may have to worry about with this setup and this new hybrid powertrain.
Let's go back a little bit further in the pack. Logan Edwards, take a look at him. He is right there with Dan Maglin. Logan Edwards strategically dropping a little bit further on back to give a lot of room to those guys in front, you think?
Maybe so, and I don't think it's a bad idea at this stage there. We got plenty of time to work with, working lap number 37. So you got time to work with here, and there is every possibility that something can go wrong. It's already gone wrong for a few. It just hasn't brought out too many cautions. But that could well be the case as this lead battle does not abate.
And Chilcutt's back there as well. He's kind of by himself as we are 3 by 3 on each side of Byron Daly.
Byron probably is not a big fan of that. Drops down to the low side now behind the Eclipse squad here as Nate Seifker is your driver on the high line up there.
Daly's here. You're in the middle. You're still in the middle. You're still in the middle. Yep. Still there.
Yeah, it's like, when is this going to end? Can someone please clear me?
And Seifker uses the high side in 3 to go to the front in the short chute.
Seifker back to the point in the number 2 machine. Will the Eclipse cars get back on the front straightaway? It's looking like that is both of them. Both Fairburn and Sherlock both get around them. They're going 3 wide there. So the leader coming off the turn number 4 is likely not going to be the leader as they get to the yard of bricks here. Kind of Kind of like what happened on the last lap in 2006. Sorry for any trauma to any Marco Andretti fans.
We're going to go 4 wide, 3 wide for sure to 3. 4 wide. Spath thinking about it on the high side. He thinks better of it, tucks back in as we go 2 wide, 2 by 2 by 2, a couple rows deep into the short chute and go through turn 4. Now we're back racing south, side by side at the yard of bricks, thinking about 3 wide. Sure, why not? Let's go 3 wide one more time in the 1.
Yeah, we've been doing it plenty of times already. We're used to it at this point. Everyone getting themselves, looks like into some semblance of order here as Caleb Bensi puts paid to that and gets a launch off of Michael Costello on the high side, taking Byron Daly with him here. So, this battle here, it's gotten a little bit tamer, but that's tamer by relative standards.
Hey, let's not forget, as we see Zach Flaum, that pink car, who currently is in 10th. But Zach is the only driver this season to finish on the podium in the 3 previous oval races and came oh so close of winning at Gateway. So Zach Flaum is looking for a continuation of that streak and a possible win. And I don't want to jinx anybody. But I do like to follow numbers and trends. This is the 13th ever oval race in the series. So if you are not big on the number 13, folks, this is not your race.
Yeah. Unlucky 13 indeed, maybe for some people, and it has been for some already. But we'll see who actually prefers number 13 and gets that win. As Nate Siefker led that last time around there, Sherlock and Caleb Bensi. Bensi's now firmly gotten into this lead fight as well, and he's trying to take it on the top side with his teammate. 3 wide, 2 deep.
It's like the start of the race, and Daly shot up in there, and he's like, whoa, I'm going to think better of that. He actually ducked out of it, gets back in line behind the Eclipse car, but we were just watching there from the perspective of Logan Spath, and all of a sudden you just see, a set of wing end plates and a tire come up next to you. You're like, holy crap, there's a guy there already.
Holy crap indeed. And now 2 wide, at least 4 deep there this go around there. So, as we're nearing the halfway point of this race, it is not let up being as chippy as it was at the start. I can't talk today. If this is any indication of what we're going to see with the hybrid powertrain on the big speedways like Indianapolis or Michigan or the Lake Fontana or wherever, I think it's going to be an interesting Indy Fix season, let alone interesting Indy 500.
Riding
Here
over
comes 3 wide action again.
Yeah, riding over the shoulder with Logan Spath, who he is due for a win in this series. Car to the inside of Logan.
Oy. And that is Michael Costello trying to stick his nose down on the low side. That's the fight for 5th place. Costello has been quietly consistent amongst the Eclipse squad here. He's just been sitting there letting his teammates do the big tussling there with everyone else.
Logan Spath.
He has made his appearance at some point, though.
Logan Spath in his 63rd career start. No wins in the series. The only driver ahead of him with no wins is Cody Claiborne with 77 starts, no wins. But we watch him go 3 wide in the 1. Get your popcorn out. You're getting ready to the halfway point.
If Nate Siefker didn't touch the inside wall there when they were going 3 wide, I would be genuinely shocked because it looked that close. But here come the Eclipse squad once again there. It doesn't seem to have deterred him in any way, shape, or form. Nate Siefker getting bold here as we approach the halfway point. This lead pack, the top 12, within 1.2 seconds of each other at the stripe here. Everybody is within earshot of a potential victory if they keep this up.
Here comes Zach and that pink car to the high side. Big run off of 2 as he's side by side with Daly. He has worked his way up from the bottom portion of the top 10 to the mid portion of the top 10. But Daly and now Costello get a beat on him, and they'll pass him as he drops down to the low side and cuts off the good air to the wings of James Watson as Sarah Guerrera works her way up into almost getting to that wall. Sarah keeps it off, but a bad entry into 4 about puts Sarah into the wall. So we go 2 wide for the lead once again, Sherlock and Bency.
Still been an excellent run for Sarah Guerrero so far when we thought that she was going to be in trouble early on in this race. But sitting firmly in the top 10 as it stands is the 267 machine. So she's off to a very good start so far. It's been very smooth, very consistent. Maybe a bit of scary moments there, but she has held firm this whole time, nearing halfway in this race. We'll see if she can hold on to that for the rest of it. But
teammates almost off of 4, but I noticed there it is, that run down to the inside right along the pit wall for Nate Siefker, as you were talking about a couple laps ago. I don't know if you noticed going through the north end of the racetrack that last time, Caleb and Logan were side by side, and I think they had Fairborn to the inside. Logan was not giving any room to Fairborn whatsoever, but he was giving quite a bit to his teammate. As we're thinking about going 4 wide into 3 one more time, sure, let's talk about it. Why not?
They were thinking about it. They definitely went 3 wide there, but not quite 4. But everybody, and I'm seeing a bit more cloud cover coming in over the speedway there, and that's just going to cool the track off even harder there, so there's going to be more grip to work with for these drivers here, so they don't burn up the tires nearly as much there. So this fight is still going to be chippy for a while to come here, as we're nearing the point where everyone is thinking about their second pit stop of the day and the first green flag stop if things keep going the way they have.
Again.
And here comes Byron Daly up the middle. Yep. He had the run there, and he's going to lead by a nose into turn number 3. Meanwhile, Titus Sherlock still holding that low side there, trying to hold on the bottom line of the track here. And now they're coming in.
Pit road, and this is right at lap 30. So they are doing it at 30-lap intervals.
Yep, both Fairburn and Sherlock on pit road. 2 Team Eclipse cars. They've been mad fast all day.
So this will put them right at lap 80 for their final stop, give or take.
That'll be 20 laps to the good when they come in. Maybe put a little bit less fuel in the tank. Save a little bit of weight. Meanwhile, back out on the racing surface, it's now Logan Spath and Caleb Bency. Bency actually leading the way here, as Siefker now makes the dive onto pit road. And Logan Spath leads the lap.
And also coming to pit road, Gabe Aslan coming to pit road, and we got Dan Miglin coming to pit road. So if we stay like this green through this pit cycle, we might see some separation here of the pack, and that might really encourage a going green for the remainder of this race, which is entirely possible. I don't want to jinx it, and I'm going to knock on wood. I've done that once already today, and it worked. So knocking on wood again as we go side by side for the teammates through 3 and now into 4. And do we see them make the turn down the pit road? Well, one of them, Spath, coming with Byron Daly.
Yep, Spath and Daly coming in. I think Kevin Tomba is signaling he's coming in as well, and Logan Edwards as well. So our pole sitter is in too.
Chilcutt coming in, our points leader.
Alex Chilcutt is in, Kevin Tomba, and I'm seeing another car, Hayden Herman. The 55 is on pit road.
So Caleb's been saving some fuel back there.
Indeed he has, and he's been in a good place to save fuel there, just sitting there in the draft of at least 4 to 5 more cars there. He really hasn't been that aggressive, and he really doesn't need to be until you really get to the end of this race here. So it's one more, definitely one more green flag pit stop to get to, and Caleb comes in.
And here they come this time. Coming to pit road. Oh, big twitch for James Watson. And again, remember, slowing these cars down on pit road with these hybrids is not easy, and they might be catching a couple of these drivers that have not practiced green flag pit stops. There are very few of them off guard, but so far, no one into the wall on pit road yet as we watch Caleb Benzie, our defending series champion, unfortunately, who's out of the points championship contention for this season already with a couple races to go. He'd like to get a win on his resume for this season. He's hit his marks down and away. Seeing behind him, same thing for James Watson and Sarah Guerrera, but up front, Zach Flaum, as he's going to go long, and here comes the famous Costello to pit road.
They both come in, and Zach Flaum is going to be leading some really good laps this season here. Get some bonus points there. DeFavis and Costello both in, and we're waiting to see is Zach Flaum's definitely one of the last of the drivers to make it on the pit road during this cycle. Everyone making it to their boxes. Costello and DeFavis.
Zach Flaum's able to go 34 laps on this stint. Dan Miglin's a lap down behind him, and so is Chilcutt. But remember, they came to pit road early, so they're looking to get their laps back soon as Flaum comes to pit road. But he is looking now at 35 laps.
Yeah, Zach Flaum staying out, and he has been doing a great job with fuel saving, evidently.
Now, just to tell you how far 35 laps is, 40 laps at the Speedway is 100 miles.
Yeah, and that's pretty good for cars as fast as this. And one thing I'll note here, by the way, Gary, you were talking earlier about like everybody having to play a big game of check up a go-go when we're coming into the corners here. For some of the drivers I saw there in traffic there as Flaum comes in, they were doing about 2:15-ish at the end of the straightaway. Zach Flaum this time around, 2:27 when he was coming off of going into turn number 3. So that's just how much everyone's been slowing each other up in terms of just like how much they're fighting each other. They're really slowing each other up here.
Zach is already in his stall, down and away. The rest of the group is still in turns 3 and 4. Zach is down and away, and he has a long haul down pit road before he gets to the pit road speed marker, but he might pop out with this group.
Might do so. Jeremy Fairburn and company, they're crossing the yard of bricks now. So Flaum getting himself up to speed. We're going to have to see. I see the cars coming around there. He's in turn number 2 there, so he is going to he's actually going to be pretty much right with him. I think you call it. He's actually going to get out ahead of him. He's well ahead of him, but the problem is, as we're looking at last lap speeds, and I've been kind of monitoring that to kind of see how much people are saving fuel and everything. Let's get back to intervals. He has himself a 0.5 of a second lead. He's not out of the draft envelope, but man, nope. I bet you he surprised a bunch of guys in front of him. Like, where did he come from? Yeah, where did that guy come from there? But Zach Flaum leading the way. Very much on track position. This is not very much on pit strategy, I'll say. Zach Flaum,
he comes to pit road as a leader and leaves pit road as a leader.
Not often you see that at Indianapolis. I'll say that much. But here comes the pack right back up to him again. Logan Spatz on the gearbox. Jeremy Fairburn going to be looking to the inside into turn number 3. Is he going to stick his nose in? Yes, he is. Jeremy Fairburn, who's been incredibly strong all race, and now Logan Spatz down to the low side.
Okay, so if I'm Zach and I've spent most of the time behind this group watching them, I didn't want to have any part of being up front. Look at him just holding this line. I think he wants to go to the back again and kind of save some fuel, and he's allowing everybody to pass him, but he's like, well, in order to pass, you got to pass me. So I'm just going to hold my line, and if you can work your way around me, so be it. I'm just going to go to the back and save fuel again, and maybe he gets closer to the 90-lap mark, and then probably inside that last 10 laps he goes fighting it out. But right now, I don't think he wants any part of this fight.
I don't think so either at this stage. He's just content to just sit there in the draft and maybe save a bit of fuel there and go as far as he had last time. I think you're right on that one. So Zach Flaum probably like being out in front for a little while, but definitely not part of the overall game plan here as we're getting close to 40 to go. Zach Flom still in the shot for a win here. Do not count him out, folks.
36 laps on his stint, by far the furthest of any other driver. And let's ride with let's ride with Zach. I'm sure we're going to hear him lifting. There it is. He's lifting. Not even 3/4 of the way down the straight. He's lifting.
Yeah. Really just taking it easy there and letting one of the other Eclipse cars through here.
Now, it's interesting. If he's taking, let's say, taking better care of his tires, and of course the track is cool and the tires don't mean as much, and we've seen this before in Indy Fixed, I'm just going to throw it out there. Possibly at his last stop, if he's inside of 10 to go, which he might be close to, just top off the tank and go. Save on not worried about getting tires.
That could well be the case here, especially if he's been going as long as he has. Yeah, we're about 10 laps left until he comes in, and then we were talking about the Nick DeGroot strat a few times here. That's about the time to pull it off here. It's about 10 laps from now. You just come in with 30 to go, top up the tanks, and let the race play itself out. Of course, you fight for everything you got there, but you let the race play itself out there. That could be what Flom is going for here, and that maybe some other drivers as well.
What I think Zach's gonna do, he's holding his line. He doesn't seem to be wanting any part of the battle in front of him. I think he wants to get as far into this stint again, do another 36 laps. He pitted at 56. So let me bring up the old calculator. It's probably going to come up on the screen here. There it is. We'll bring it over to the other screen here, and we'll say lap 56. And if he does another 36, that puts him at lap 92. I think at 92, you just come in for a splash, and I don't think he'll have time to put on new tires. And if the temperature still maintains what it is right here as we watch this battle behind him, as we get back to TV cameras here.
The track temp's ticking up,
91
on
track temp with 72 on the ambient. It might be worth it just to go fuel only. I don't know. It's worth a gamble at this point, and it's worth thinking about. We'll see if that pans out for him. If Zach right now is in 7th spot, but up front, it's all these Eclipse competition cars that have been teaming up on anybody else that's tried to get up into the front and lead this thing. It's like a tag team handicap match. It's a 4 on anybody that wants to compete with them right now at this point.
Yeah, I think the way I could see it is like it's like a rolling roadblock in a police chase, and all of the Eclipse cars are the cop cars in this case. So everyone up on that team, they just want to hold everyone off here at the end here and just box them out here and prevent them from snagging a win out from underneath them. But that's the thing. How much momentum you've been getting here on the straightaways, how hard is it going to be to hold them back without wrecking your car in the process?
So as you see, as we go 4 wide, now 3, 2 wide, 3 wide. How we're going to do this, guys? Whoa! Costello, I think, had to roll out of that thing.
Yeah, Seifker's way up on that high side there. Titus Sherlock now retaking the lead of this race as Michael Costello now plays tail gunner for his teammate here against Logan Spath and Nate Seifker. And now for the top side, Jeremy Fairbairn, I should know, was playing tail gunner there. That was Michael Costello trying to make a move up on the high side there. Didn't quite work out, but now he gets around Logan Spath on the high side of the track.
We're at 64, and the window to get to the end opens at about 6 laps. To get to the end will open in about 6 laps. Some of these guys up front have already done a good fair amount of distance. Fairbairn, 14 laps on this stint. Sherlock, 14 laps on this stint. Seifker, 13 laps on this stint. Costello, only 10. So we talked about it, and we thought that if we get a green flag, long green flag run, green flag pit stops will separate this group. It has. Now only basically the top 10 are all together. Before it was about a 12 or 13 car pack, so we've lost a couple more. Chances are we'll lose a couple more if we make another green flag pit stop, and then it's going to be an all-out blitz to the end. Don't go anywhere. Stay with us as we go 3 wide into turn 3 one more time.
Yeah, that's going to be a recurring theme, I think, for the rest of this race, especially as everyone starts fighting it out for the big prize at the end. And everyone weaving down to the low side there. Titus Sherlock going way down the low side. And Nate Seifker now up on the top. He's actually going to lead that lap. and clears him too. So Siefker gets his nose in front here, in front of Titus Sherlock, throws some dirty air over him. Jeremy Fairburn now up on that high line here, and he's going to look down to the low side.
And
look at his teammate up there. That's
down to the white line. No, there we go.
Michael Costello trying to stick his nose in this fight here. He wants to get back up there and join his teammates and help them out even more, maybe even snag the win for himself. And Tanner DeFabis kind of been the unsung one of them amongst them, which is kind of weird for Tanner's perspective there. He's always very fast. But Tanner has been taking it pretty easy so far, and I think in his case, you really have to wait until the last pit stop before you really start to go for keeps.
Tonight's coverage sponsored by Sim Racing Warehouse. Looking to take your sim racing setup to the next level? Check out Sim Racing Warehouse. From high-quality wheels and pedals to accessories that bring the track right into your home, they got everything you need to race harder, smarter, and faster. Check the link in the description and also find the 5% off coupon code also in the description and save even more. Go to simracingwh.com. Link is all in the description, everybody.
Everybody trying to hold that low line there. Everyone's weaving a little bit here, trying to do the snake. But again, too wide, multi-cars deep. Working laps 68 of 100 here at the legendary Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Jeremy Fairburn leads the way on that last lap there. He's leading on the low side. Nate Siefker trying to take the fight up on the top. Look at him go with that momentum in the middle groove there. That middle groove is pretty effective.
Byron Daly almost ran out of room there in the short chute. He is right up against the wall. When you run that high line, that wall comes up and greets you really, really, really fast. If you're just joining us, this is coverage of the Formula Indy Series coming to you from Indianapolis for the 5th running of the Formula Indy Series Indy 250. We've now completed coming up on lap 70 of 100. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications. The next race for the Formula Indy Series or for the Formula Racing Series here, the Formula Indy Series, will be next week for Championship Wednesday at Watkins Glen as we crown our Series 8 champion. Well, when we started this race, we thought about would it be Chilcutt and would it be Gavin Sanders? With Gavin Sanders not in the lineup tonight and Chilcutt just training to bring his car home for a nice, safe, and easy finish, we might be as we go 4 wide.
Wide.
We might be crowning Chilcutt as our champion here at the end of this one, or maybe definitely at the end of the next one. So if you want to find out who becomes our champion, tune in next week when we go to Watkins Glen. 8:20 is the start time right here on the P1.
And Nate Siefker was the big winner of that 4 wide exchange in the midst of all that. So he is going to lead for now. Titus Sherlock once again up on the high side, and Byron Daly now once again back in the fight here. Byron has been on fire tonight. Sensational.
He kind of goes to the front. He's working the high side. It seems to be working for him. I think he's bringing Spath with him. I think Spath has been riding his tire tracks the most. Now he's thinking about splitting, going to thread the eye of the needle. Good thing he didn't do it right there. He was thinking of it. He's like, well, it looks like my front wheels fit in there.
Yeah, just barely fit in there. And
whoa,
oh, man.
The wall. And that is Jeremy Fairburn. I think, no, that's Costello, I think, in the
Costello?
wall. That was Costello in the wall. He ran out of room.
Doesn't seem to have hurt him too much as the 19 machine. Michael Costello has been mad fast all day. Doesn't seem to have hurt him too much. He's still in the pack here. Let's see if he can hold on to that. Let's see if that did anything to his car here. Look at Caleb Benzie taking it 3 wide down there. I think he sensed the blood in the water there.
I think Caleb doesn't want to get stuck behind him. If he's lost pace, that means he's going to slowly lose a draft in front of him, and Caleb wants to get an opportunity to get around. If that's the case, that Costello might be damaged. So Caleb wants to get a giddy up right now as Tanner DeFabis blinks out but comes back in. Logan Spath to the point.
Caution's out. What has happened here? Sarah Carrera. Busted up car in turn number 1.
And Dan Meeglin and Sarah Guerrera come together on the front straight right into turn one. They bang wheels, and it sends her up into the turn one apex wall there, and that's day done for Sarah.
Yeah, and she came to a stop in turn number 2 and brought out the yellow. Just nothing she could have done in that instance. The car was very much uncontrollable at that point. Just had to get it to a stop there. And Sarah Guerrera now on pit road. Very unfortunate casualty for someone that was off to a good start in this race.
Interesting situation now. The window to pit is open. We are 21 laps for most everybody. 21, 22, 23. Actually, I think they'll all come in. Yeah, I think they'll all come in, really. Here are your stint time here. 21 laps for Spath, 23 for Sherlock, 22 for Seifer, 21 for Daly, Fairbarn 23, Flaum only 17. It'll be interesting though. Getting this caution will get actually Flaum a lot farther into that 10 to go range. He's already inside of that. It'll probably get him closer now to 5 to go before he needs to pit if he wants to stay out. I think everybody comes to pit road, and any goodwill that any of these drivers had toward each other really, I think, goes out the window on this restart, because unless there's a late caution, this is it right here. This is it. You're not coming to pit road again.
It's a sprint from here on out, and everybody is coming in as we expected. So, yeah, it's going to be a sprint for the last about 25 laps, maybe even less, at Indianapolis. And as it stands, looking at things overall, 16 cars left on the lead lap. And at this point, it could be any of them, really.
Logan Edwards slid into his box, but hit his marks.
Yeah.
But
I think Logan Spath actually slid into his box, too, and overshot it a bit, and he's lost a lot of positions. Zach
Flaum did the same thing. I saw him miss his marks just by a tick, but Nate Seifer first out. Titus Sherlock second, Byron Daly in third, Fairbarn fourth, and DeFabus fifth, Vinci sixth. Costello, well, if there's any damage, they didn't fix it on pit road because he's out in seventh. James Watson in eighth. Remember, he has I believe, a podium finish here at one of the oval races here in the Formula Indy Series. He'd like to get another one. Chilcutt in ninth, and Zach Flaum in 10th.
Now everyone getting back into order here. It was a long green flag run, punctuated by a couple of incidents, but they didn't bring out the caution. But it was definitely a long green flag run here, and I think we'll have to see if we're going to have a long green flag run to the checkers here. It'd be curious to see that happen here, because these guys have been going hard all race.
I don't know about that. I think we're in the point in the race where the gloves come off. Once again, if you're just joining us, you are watching the penultimate round of the Season 8 Formula Series Indy Series Championship, round 11 of 12 of the Formula Indy Series, coming to you from Indianapolis, where currently Nate Seifer, former series champion, leads with about 26, coming to 25 to go. Thanks for joining us. Make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. The next race for us here on P1 will be tomorrow night at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time for the Elite Racing League's Indy Light Series triple header. Join Luis Gonzalez Nunez as he brings you the action of the Indy, all the Indy Next action, as they will go to Pocono for race 1, Iowa for race 2, and Gateway for race 3 to wrap up the evening and the first ever Elite Racing League Indy Lights Championship. You don't want to miss it. An oval race triple header, and if you like open wheel oval racing, which we hope you do if you're watching this one, then you got a triple header tomorrow night with the Indy Next cars right here on P1. Coming to green this time we're going to go green with 25 to go. It's going to be Seifer, former series champion. Titus Sherlock, multiple wins here in the series. Byron Daly, he'd like to get a win here.
Absolutely, and he's been nipping at the heels of everyone tonight.
He's got one win in this series. He'd like to get his second career win. Then we got Fairborn, who won last race at Brands Hatch
Brands
for
Hatch.
his first win, and INDIANAPOLIS. So everybody in the top 3 for sure have gotten wins here.
And green flag back in the air, 25 to go at Indianapolis. Nate Siefker, Titus Sherlock, Byron Daly, Jeremy Fairburn, and Tanner DeFavis. Look at Caleb Benzie on the high line. Benzie got a great run. Not quite enough to get up alongside the 5, but tucks in behind. And now we'll see the pack start to form here as everyone's in the draft. And now Byron Daly, we were just talking about him going up the middle. 3 wide, not quite enough to get to the lead, but certainly to second.
I think that middle line strategically is pretty good. It's fast, and then when you get to the middle of the corner, if someone's right there with you, they don't know if you're going to go high or low, and it almost gives, and we see all the Eclipse cars, a line of 4 down the bottom, but I think that middle line gives some people a little pause for thought. Where are you going to go? Are you going to go high? Are you going to go low? And I think that middle line eventually gets the run because of uncertainty with the driver that is getting past.
Exactly. And I've seen that a lot where drivers would think like, do I actually want to go up the middle? And like a lot of them hesitate in that moment there because they're so used to fighting alongside another car and they don't want to take the risk going 3 wide, especially in the earlier stages of the race. But now here, I think there's going to be a bit less hesitation from these drivers. They've gotten used to the ebb and flow of the thing. So I think there's going to be, when the opportunity comes, they're going to take full advantage of it. If someone gives an inch, they're going to take a mile.
And speaking of taking miles back, it's a guy that started up front and had a connection issue before we got into the session at all. Logan Edwards, all of a sudden now up in the top 10. He's racing on the bottom. He's following that line of leaders. And a winner at Homestead earlier in the season has now become very racy here in the closing stages.
Nice to see the bull sitter back in the mix. Logan Edwards sitting in 11th as it stands. And now fighting alongside Logan Spath, and trying to get up alongside him there. It's a bit of a pack here to get through here. There's a bit of a traffic jam on his part. And now Alex Chilcutt is in that fight as well here. So your championship leader definitely doesn't want to do anything crazy and preserve whatever points he can get in this championship fight here. He's almost looking to lock up a championship. If he can do it tonight, that'd be amazing on his part. But Watkins Glen next time out could well be the race that seals the deal. As we head into turn 3 again, still 3 wide there with the 3 Eclipse cars. I'm seeing Logan Edwards way up there on the top side, and everyone kicking up marbles up on the top there. Everyone is picking whatever piece of real estate they can.
Whoa! Rule 1 about racing your teammates. What is that rule, Stevie?
Don't wreck your teammate.
And what is rule 2 about racing your teammates?
Refer to rule 1.
Yeah, so that almost was a violation of rule 2 of racing your teammates right there off of corner 4, but they caught it. But the Eclipse competition cars staying in line on the bottom, down the backstretch, 21 to go now.
Into 3 they go, 3 wide once again in this lead pack here. It's all Eclipse up at the front. Byron Daly down on the bottom there in the middle of all of this. He's the odd duck out here. Ooh, very close to the wall in turn 4. Don't pull a J.R. Hildebrand now, folks. And here comes Byron Daly in the middle. He's going to lead that lap. Can he clear him into 1, though?
Yep.
Yes, he can. Byron Daly up to the front here. And now Logan Spath has gotten himself back into the mix. Caleb Benzie also making his presence felt, too. And I see Nate Siefker, too. So everybody... If there's a piece of real estate open, they're going to go for it. Look at Spath. He's certainly going for it. Whoa, almost a hip check there. Byron Daly in one of the Eclipse cars. Logan Spath, though. Oh, we're a big race. Logan Edwards is airborne. Logan Edwards airborne. Caution is out.
And James Watson sideways on the entry of turn 4 as we are under caution as we are riding with Nate Seifer, and that came out. But let's go back and see what happened. It happened in the neighborhood of Hayden Herman and
Logan Edwards, airborne over after.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen.
Oh, geez. Cue up Van Halen dreams right there with that barrel roll. Kind of. We've seen that before at the end of the Indy 500. I forget what year that was, but a car went airborne there because Ryan Hunter-Ray ran out of fuel in a very similar instance. But I think what we saw the situation is that James Watson got in contact with Hayden Herman, and that's what brought him around, or at least caused him to slow down a little bit. And then, unfortunately, Logan Edwards, who was the man on the run, was an innocent victim. And, oh, man, Caleb was almost in that as well.
Yeah, definitely shades of 2011 at the 500. I remember that vividly because I was there for that year. That was quite a way to end the show, but that one was not the end here, though.
I think was it 2011 or I don't think was it 20.
No, 2010.
Yeah, because 2011 was the J.R. Hill. Look at that.
2010. Yeah, it was definitely 2010. Yeah, I remember that. I was in high school back then, so like that was a great Indy 500 to go to. It was hot though. It was insanely hot that year. My mother was not having a good time in the heat. Yeah, we had pretty much had to, like, any sort of water we could get that day, we had to have with us. But what a race, but a scary way to end it that year was the 2010 Indy 500. And that was kind of shades of it right there. Of course, in the virtual world, you don't have to worry about getting injured or worse.
Mike Conway. After that, Mike Conway said, "I'm not doing any more oval races."
Yeah. He did go on to win in Long Beach.
Yeah, he did.
Though,
I think he got a couple of IndyCar wins under his belt.
And then he became a sports car ace.
Yeah.
He's won at Le Mans a few times.
Yeah.
And he
won
at
he won at let's see, he won at Long Beach twice, won at Detroit for Dale Coyne, he won at Long Beach for AJ, won at Detroit for Dale Coyne, and won twice in 2014 for Ed Carpenter at Long Beach and at Toronto. So 4 IndyCar wins for but after he did the flip and went up in the air and everything in the north side of the racetrack for that Indy 500, he said, "That's it. No more oval cracks."
Yep. And then he went over to sports car racing the really awesome looking Toyota LMPs, and up until now, really, he's still racing in the racing for Toyota, and he won the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 2021, and he's got 2 World Endurance Championships under his belt.
I just noticed that. He has got 2019, 2020, and 2021 championships there, and finished 3rd and 2nd in the years after that. So, again, a very accomplished former IndyCar winner. But we are going to go lights out, I believe, this time by. Yep, lights out on the pace car. Let's reset the field. I want to thank everybody for joining us one more time. Make sure to like that, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not done so already. Thanks for joining us. This is the round 11 of the Formula Indy Series, sponsored by Sim Racing Warehouse. Make sure to check out their website and the discount code to save you 5% off in the description. But we're at the Sim Racing Warehouse Formula Indy Series Season 8, penultimate race of the championship. Championship might be decided at the end of this race. We'll see. Chilcutt is your leader in points leader. He's in 14th position. And unfortunately, Gavin Sanders, who was second in the points coming into this race, opted not to be racing tonight. So it doesn't look like that we'll have a points battle going into the final race. It might be locked up after this, but we got a heck of a battle up front as we're going to go green here with 16 to go. Titus Sherlock, Logan Spath, Michael Costello, Fairbarn, Nate Seifer, Byron Daly, Tanner DeFavis. They've all been in a dogfight all day long up to this point. Kind of on the outside looking in and just creeping into the picture a little bit. Zach Flaum looking for his 4th consecutive podium finish here on the road, on the ovals this season. And right behind him, former series champion Caleb Bency in 9th, and Hayden Herman looking for a top 10. He's running in 10th here. Everybody on the lead lap is from 1st to 14th, so getting ready to go green. Elbows out. Get the popcorn ready. You better have it, because I don't think you have time to go pop more or go get a drink. Hope everything is ready and refreshed for you, because here we go. We're going to decide it in Indianapolis right here, right now.
And the snake already begins. Titus Sherlock Running in the middle of the track here, trying to throw Logan Spath out of the draft a little bit as they head into turn 1 here. But that pack is going to reform mighty quick here, folks. It's going to be 15 to go next time around here. Sherlock, Spath, and Costello. Look at the run Costello is getting right now. And all the way down to the white line there, right up on the bleeding edge there.
Remember Logan Spath in that 3 car who's in 3rd spot. This is his 63rd career start and still looking for his first FIS win. And would it be a nice one if it came at the big race, the biggest race of the year at Indianapolis? And he has basically the Great Wall of Eclipse right in front of him.
Great way of describing it. I'd say that's the way they've been almost the whole race long there. Titus Sherlock, Jeremy Fairburn, and Michael Costello, they have been indomitable thus far. They have been smooth and steady and always towards the front of the pack. Logan Spath, though, looking to break up that trend here. 4 wide for number 3. And Spath clears them all to the lead of the race. We've seen a few times before that you can definitely get the trap on the front stretch here. Let's see. 14 to go. Spath leads the way.
Spath holds his line. He's not defending, but Sherlock takes a shot to the inside, and he's going to bring Nate Seifer with him.
Nate Seifer's come up here, too. He wants to get another win again. It's been a long drought for old Nate. And he moves up into 2nd spot, right behind Titus Sherlock and the 2 Eclipse cars, the 2 teammates to Titus Sherlock. Going at it again here. Caleb Bensi now making the moves. He's looking to make a move up on the high line. Not quite enough just yet. But Caleb now taking the gloves up too.
Oh, almost wheel contact there. Definitely within the netcode zone.
Yeah, you got to be insanely careful or else the netcode gods might smite you out of nowhere. But Titus Sherlock once again takes the point from Nate Seifer, and here comes Logan Spath to the high side. Caleb Bensi's in the mix too. Spath up on the high side of Seifer for 2nd. Can he clear him? Still wheel to wheel. Not quite enough as it stands here. And here comes, I believe that's Tanner DeFabis getting into the mix. DeFabis has now decided to be a bit less quiet here tonight.
Costello smacked the wall earlier in this race. He's now up in this pack.
Costello taking it in stride, that's for sure. It didn't seem to do much to his car at the very least. He's still very much in the fight here tonight.
Oh, and look at big move to high side into 1.
Very close stuff for Logan Spath. That has got to be a bit hair-raising here. He's still clear of Nate Seifer. Seifer's going to try on the low side there. Not quite enough to get up to Sherlock just yet. Sherlock defending low. And here comes Tanner DeFabis trying to get down the low side there. 4 wide once again. Almost.
There are 2 groups of drivers in this pack right here. You have basically Bensi Ford. Everyone's like, I'm going for the win now. And Zach Flau's involved there. And then you have about 4 drivers that are kind of hanging out in the back going, there is no way that these guys racing as hard as they are not going to bounce off one another and cause a big one. I'm just going to hang out back here at this point. But, man, when we get inside of 10 to go, it's a free-for-all, almost a free-for-all now. I'm going to say it is a full-on battle royal with less than 10 to go. But we're still not to that point yet. We're at 11 to go. So we'll see what happens as we're going to go 4 wide down the backstretch.
Oh, I think Byron Daly was thinking of making it 5 wide at one point there. That would have been insanely bold. Not quite enough to get up there, though, but Byron Daly back in the mix, too. 10 to go this time around in Indianapolis. Seifer up the middle, and so is Byron Daly trying to go up the middle. Not quite enough. Seifer leads that lap. Into 1 they go. Seifer clears them all. Meanwhile, Logan Spath up on the top side. Clears the 2 Eclipse cars and now has to run down the former champion Nate Seifer. And he will get down to the low side here and clears them before they even get to turn 3. Logan Spath on the move. But here comes
Sherlock just sends it to the inside. There was not a lot of room there.
No fear. No fear at all from Titus Sherlock. Brilliantly done. And he's going to hold that low line and get to the start-finish line here. Who's actually going to lead the start-finish line? Looks like Byron Daly's going to shoot up the middle, but it's Logan Spath leading that lap.
Keep that in mind. The high side off the corner. Spath led that lap by the slimmest of margins, but it was Spath, so maybe he's trying this high side out. I mean, right now the train is on the bottom side. He immediately goes to the bottom side. I thought he would stay out there, and he slams the door on Zach Flaum. Nate Siefker up high. Here we go. Zach Flaum's going to shoot the middle.
Ooh, wow, now getting into the mix here. This is the stuff we were expecting from him. He's been on the podium several times on the oval races this past season. Can he even snag a victory?
Time.
He's been on the podium every time this season on an oval. Can he snag that win that many would say he was robbed of at Gateway, and on an even bigger stage at that? Flaum leads that lap, but Siefker now takes it in one.
Well, Gavin's going to say he didn't steal that win.
It was just, I just took it from him, you know?
Just had a better set of tires when it really counted there at the end. 2 by 2 by 2 behind our leader. Siefker 3 wide going into the corner. Siefker immediately goes to the bottom, slams the door. Flaum up high. He's going to be clear for P2. He's going to come wheel to wheel and even with Siefker coming off the corner right behind him. Here's Caleb Binsey now.
And here comes Sherlock back down to the low side, making it 3 wide, and so is Jeremy Fairburn. And look at this! 4 wide again, and that was Tanner DeFamus.
Wow, 3 wide through the corner, through the short chute. Zach Flaum was desperately running out of room, and he held on to it.
DeFamus from another zip code fighting for the lead of this race now. That's just showing how quick the tide can turn here in these final laps.
Siefker with a bit of a Pruitt fade down the backstretch.
That was close. That was really close. I saw some squeamish moments there through the short chute.
Oh, Byron Daly almost in the attenuator as he goes down low. We're going to go 4 wide, 5 wide at the yard of bricks. 4 wide for the lead, up in the 1.
Spath back down at that one. I think he sensed the gap was closing rapidly there. Didn't want to wreck the car. But Siefker leading as they come off a 2 in the middle of the track. Flaum trying to get the run up on the high side. Can he do it? And I'm looking down low. Oh, I see Caleb Binsey getting a bit bold here. 5 to go this time around.
He started this season with Chilcutt getting the win. He's held the points lead ever since then. Gavin Sanders won round 2, Sherlock round 3. Gavin Sanders again at the Chicago Street Course in round 4. Logan Edwards with his win, DeFamus in Portland. Sherlock again, Gavin Sanders again at Gateway. Chilcutt at Mexico City. Fairborn last race at Brands Hatch. Who will win round 11?
Oh my goodness, that was so close there between, I think that was Michael Costello and Caleb Binsey. They almost made contact there in turn number 2. And now Spath, once again, trying to get the run on Zach Flaum and Nate Siefker.
Going to hold the bottom, and who's right about that is Spath. He just pinches Sherlock. Oh, we got Wreck in the back there.
In the back there.
And it's Chilcutt. Chilcutt is in it. Tomba is in it. And so is Gabe Aslan, and we are going to see a 1-lap sprint to the end here.
Maybe so. Zach Flaum is leading, lap 97. Obviously, they're not going to come in. Are we going to get a 1-lap sprint?
We might get a 1-lap sprint. I'm not sure, but we'll go back.
Yeah,
and if that did, that pass. And let's go back right here with him holding off Nate Siefker into the corner, getting the lead. And we'll go back to Aslan. Aslan got into the back of Tomba, and Chilcutt just trying to run this thing out. And he's in the back of the pack. He's like, this is the safest place for me to be. I'm 4 laps away, 10 miles from really kind of clinching this championship, and right in front of him, just out of his left eye shot there. And boom, day is done that. I don't think that's getting fixed. I don't think that, the wheel snaps back into place. He might be able to come to pit road and get a new front wing, but there's got to be some serious damage on that car. We'll see if he can bring it home. I think he's going to try to stay on the racetrack, certainly if he's rolling. Even if he's on pit road right now. He has brought the car to a stop. Let's see if he gets any repairs done. But Zach Flaum, we are back watching live cameras now. He's going to come to the yard of bricks. And we're going to go 3 to go. We see in the back there, Miglin coming to pit road. And he's still on the lead lap. And if we do go green, he's giving up some track position, but he's going to slap on a new set of tires. We have unlimited tires here in the Formula Indy Series. He might be thinking of a full send to pick up a few spots. But all the leaders, for the most part, for the whole part, staying out. They're not going to give up any track position. And no one seeming to go down pit road outside of Miglin going for a new set of tires.
Very much so here, and I've heard on the radio that, like, obviously the one person that doesn't want it to be a one-lap shootout is Zach Pflum. He just wants to end this thing. We'll see next time around if the one-lap shootout is going to happen. It very well could. So Zach Pflum, Nate Siefker, Logan Spath, Titus Sherlock, Caleb Bensi, really any of these guys could snag this win. It's gonna be like, we have had one heck of a show all night long here, and it's gonna come down to one lap. This, I think, is gonna be a lap for the ages.
Trying to go back and see when Nate Siefker won last. He won last, and he won it by a ruling. It was the Michigan race. Remember that? When
Yes.
Bruno Miranda went to the apron on the last lap and it wasn't supposed to? That is his last win. That is back in season 4, back in 2022. And, of course, remember, he got hit by a hit-and-run driver and very seriously injured in real life. And spent time in the hotel, remember? Not a hotel. So he wishes it was a hotel. He spent time in the hospital. In not quite traction, but definitely he was not allowed to move. They had to reset some bones and everything as the lights are out on the pace car. So we're going to go green with 2 to go. So that's the last time he got a win, and then some things happened in his world, and he hasn't returned to victory lane since. So he would like to return to victory lane. Spath in third, he has not gone to victory lane. Pflum has not gone to victory lane. Sherlock, he, of course, has been to victory lane a number of times.
And it really could be any one of these drivers that snags this win. Pflum is going to have to play.
Sherlock has won 6 times, so he's looking for his 7th win. Sherlock is 4th all-time in wins here in the Formula Indy Series. And not to be ruled out of this, Caleb Bensi, who's he's had a season he wants to forget. He's 5th, and he would love to get a win here at Indianapolis at a racetrack that's been very, very kind to him over the past history. I've seen him win some very, very close races back in the old TI series. That kind of spawned the formation here of the Formula Indy Series back in the day. He won one of his first major big races there, and it was right here at Indianapolis. So here we're getting ready to go green. We are at 2 to go. We are going to go green and white on the last lap. And Zach Pflum needs to make sure that his hybrid is charged and ready to go, because he might only have one use of it. And when you use a hybrid, you get a second and a half deployment, and that's it. And you need to be behind somebody to recharge. Otherwise, you're going to lose pace. So we'll see how he directs this. Is he going to save it, possibly, to come into the checkered flag? Is he going to use it to defend? Is he going to use it to go on offensive? We are green flag, white flag out. 1 lap to go. Is it Pflum? Is it Seifer? Is it Spath? Here we go.
Pflum got the jump he wanted for sure. Siefker and Spath fighting it out for second here, but Pflum is away. Can they catch him?
They're going to have a big run. Going to big run down the backstretch. He needs to go to the bottom. He needs to go to the bottom and paint that white line, and don't let a single person try to get underneath him. Now he slowly fades.
Siefker blazes by him on the high line here, and so does Logan Spath. Pflum tucks in behind there. Whoa! Gets way close to the wall there. And it's going to be a drag race for the win.
The turn from home, and Seifer and Sherlock. Sherlock busts in front of him. Here we come to the checker flag. We're wrecking behind. We're going to go 3 wide, 4 wide at the line. I can't tell who won. It's Sherlock by 9,000ths of a second.
And Siefker goes flipping as they cross the start-finish line. What a finish. Titus Sherlock ekes out the win at Indianapolis. Oh my goodness. I will note this. Top 4 cars within 6/100ths of a second. Sherlock, Siefker, Spath, and Bensi.
And there it is. And what I'll do is I'll clean this shot up, and I'll go back to here, and I'll clean up the shot for you. And that is your margin of victory. We will just hold that on the screen for the moment as we get in tonight's final race results here from the Brickyard. Kind of an odd race. Started 8 laps into this on the broadcast, but I think the finish made up for it. There you see it. Again, Spath going to get a win here eventually, but not today. Caleb Bency is going to get a 4th place there. There you see that. Zach Flaum just off the podium. Led coming to the white flag, but just got ate up with the way that these cars were handling today. And let's get in today's final results. I don't have music, so I got to get my music ready. Oh, here we go.
Yep.
There we go. And Sherlock with the win. As I mentioned, that is Sherlock's 7th career win. He's in 4th place all by himself, so he gets a little bit closer to Caleb Bency, who's in 3rd with 11. That is Titus Sherlock's, let's see. I think we're in, let's see. Let's go to seasons here real quick. We're in season 8. And Titus got a win at Barber and also at Circuit Zolder. So 2 road courses and gets one on the oval for his 3rd win of the season. Logan Spath, like I said, finished 3rd. Nate Seifer finished 2nd. He is definitely looking to break that long dry spell. Caleb Bency in 4th. Zach Flaum 5th. Costello in 6th. Fairborn 7th. DeFavis in 8th. Herman 9th. Toma in 10th. Dan Miglin in 11th. Byron Daly wrecking off of corner number 4. Goes back to 12th. Chilcutt. Best he's going to do is 13th. Aslan 14th. James Watson 15th. Logan Edwards 16th. Guerrera 17th. We'll see if that helps Guerrera any in the amateur championship. Zach Smith in 18th, Bagley in 19th, Schlosser in 20th, and Goyette, Short, and DeMay there, rounding out the remainder of this 23-car field. Your highest finishing amateur is going to be Hayden Herman, so we will try to talk with him if he's going to be available.
Looks like he is this time.
Okay, good. All right. And we'll get into the interview room right now and see who would like to talk with us. And here is Hayden Herman joining us in the booth, the highest finishing amateur driver, Hayden Herman. Congratulations, sir, on one of your best finishes of the season, coming home as a top 10 and 9th. A bit of an elbows out race. A little bit about your strategy at the end. What were you thinking? I know a couple of the drivers were just kind of hanging out in the back, almost expecting for a big one to happen. Was that kind of the way you guys were thinking back there, or did you really just have the pace wasn't to keep up with those other guys?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Gary. It was an absolutely crazy race start to finish. But at the end, it was more so just see if there's any opportunities to get up there. It's really difficult to know when to deploy and when to regen. So deployed off the start, was able to stay kind of behind them, but and then someone hit the wall kind of coming towards the end, caused a little bit of a checkup, and then it just kind of saw that there was no shot from there. But overall, happy with the finish. It was definitely a good time.
Any shout outs, friends, family, sponsors you want to say hi to on this top 10 finish to round out the last of the oval races for the year?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just want to say thank you to Caleb and Logan. They've always been my teammates, and they're always encouraging me to get on and race. And then I want to say thanks to my fiance for putting up with this stuff. So overall, it was super fun, and always appreciate what you do, Gary.
Well, you don't have to thank me, but definitely thanking the woman is the smartest thing you said all interview. So congratulations on the best in class and top 10, and we'll see you when we get to our last race here next week at Watkins Glen.
Absolutely. Thanks, Gary.
That is Hayden Herman, our highest finishing of the amateur ranks. Let's go to Logan Spath and bring him on up. Logan, got you here in the booth. Congratulations on the P3. I know you're looking for the win. In fact, I thought I was going to call your first oval win, big time oval win. We know you have one that no one saw over in the old Revolution IndyCar Series where you won at Talladega. But winning at Indianapolis versus winning at Talladega, two different things. You got the big road course win in the Elite Racing League. But now looking at the possible win today and just missed it by... let's see, that's 24 hundredths of a second right there at the very end. So talk about 24,000. So talk about it's even closer. Got to give you more credit. So talk about the that last lap and coming to the finish.
Yeah, I knew I was in a good spot coming in at third, so I really didn't want to pass Nate going into one. It sounds like from talking to him, I think he didn't deploy his hybrid. So that kind of threw a wrench in that plan because then I didn't know what to do because I caught him so easily. Just because I figured everyone would be using their hybrid, so Zach and him would take off a little bit and I could recharge in 1 and 2. But that gave Titus an absolutely monster run and then just kind of trapped me in a little diamond between all three of them. But yeah, I think if I timed up my run a little bit better there, probably would have had it. But either way, it was a great run by Titus to set that up.
Talk about using the hybrid. I mean, even in these fixed races, you got your hands full with everything you could do in the car, and now you have a button to charge up and a button to deploy, and it's one more thing to add to the checklist of things you do every straightaway, every corner, every lap here.
It definitely adds a lot to it mentally, especially here with with how much speed you're taking into corners and how quickly people can get checked up. But with this setup tonight, honestly, it wasn't too hard to manage, only because pretty much it was kind of flat. We weren't really having to worry about understeering into a wall too much. A little bit near the end of the races, I think the track temp started to get up there, but it honestly was just you ended up just holding it while keeping it flat while you're 3 wide with everyone, and it made it a little bit easier. But I did an Indy fixed race last week, and I can tell you it was extremely difficult to focus on not slamming into a wall while still holding the hybrid regen. But I think it definitely adds a lot to the racing, especially here at Indy, since it's so difficult on when to use it and when not to, but especially on road courses. It's definitely made it a little bit more mentally taxing than it already was.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. I think this is your best finish of the season. Not the finish, not the season you've been wanting, but a way to go out on a high note with one race to go. Anybody want to say hi to before we let you go?
Yeah, this season's definitely been a hard one. I switched gear in the middle of the season. I wasn't really happy with what I had. I had kind of switched to a different brand at some point last year and just was not getting along with it. So switch gears. So it's been a little bit of a learning curve, but I think it's helped overall. And I know Caleb and I can get back up there in the team standings and I can get back up there in the points. But yeah, I want to thank my wife for letting me take so much time doing this and get to spend Wednesday night with everybody every week pretty much. And just all the practice time that takes. I want to thank my grandparents for always watching. So happy to get on the podium to give them something a bit more to watch. And I know that race had to be some fun to watch on the broadcast for sure. I want to thank you guys in the booth for always giving us a great broadcast to look back at and giving everyone something great to watch. And you guys always do a great job. So thank you guys.
Logan, thanks a lot. Congratulations, P3. We'll catch you next week when we wrap the season up at Watkins Glen.
All right. Hopefully I'll talk to you guys next week too.
Yeah, you got it. And for some reason, the overlay, and I think it might have to do with the way that everything developed tonight with jumping between sessions and everything, the number is wrong. So just disregard that. That is normally not something that we see. But anyways, let's go to Nate Seifer, who's says 267 is his number, but he's in the number 2 on the racetrack. We'll bring him up now, and here he is, Logan, or excuse me, Nate, bringing up for P2, finish tonight. So close, 9 thousandths of a second. You must have been feeling it pretty good. It's been a while since you've been fighting for wins up at the front. We went back and looked. Your last win really wasn't a win. You got ruled the win. So it's been a while since you kind of crossed the finish line and got that checkered flag for yourself. And it was almost that night tonight, so close. But you were very racy. What brought you up on the wheel? And talk about this race and definitely using that hybrid. You were ready to go to war tonight, weren't you?
Yeah, I would say so. I really enjoy. I was discussing this. I really enjoy that type of racing where it's packed up. I don't like it at Indy, but I enjoy that type of racing. So it was really fun to use the hybrid. That was such a cool component. It was actually my first oval race I've done in this car with the hybrid, and it took a little bit of getting used to it. Qualifying, I didn't realize, don't harvest at all. I realize that now, and I've learned that for the future. But yeah, there's a lot of just learning where to harvest at certain points, learning where to harvest it at, and what runs to harvest, and where to deploy. And the first 70 laps was just learning. That's literally all that was. But I wasn't really racing anybody until we got down to the end. And when we got to the end, I was like,
you'd be hard pressed to convince us you weren't really racing anybody with the 3 wides and going over the high side and taking the lead. I don't know who you're fooling there.
I mean, I wasn't like trying. Okay, let me put it this way. I wasn't like trying to lead. It just came that way. So I wasn't like really like wanting to ride around in 7th all night. I wanted to like lead a little bit. But yeah, it was fun. I really enjoyed, running up at the front. It had been a minute since I've done it. I got taken out of both oval races this year so far. And I used to be quick in the road course stuff. I'm not as quick as I used to be at that stuff compared to some of these guys now. So it is fun to run at the front with these guys now. And, that was a blast.
Well, we thought that the drought might be over, but not tonight. But a great showing. It was great to watch you up at the front. Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to before we let you go.
Yeah, I want to thank all the TWR guys. It's awesome. The support. James was in there tonight, so he had a lot of fun there. I want to thank Team Wants to Racing Setups. I want to thank Rick Ravon for being he was watching, Gary. I know you know Rick. Yep. So he was watching. He was messaging me through the race, and I got done. And I had a whole bunch of messages from him. So and then she didn't want one, but a shout out to Faith for letting me do this. So I appreciate her letting me do this, even though she doesn't really get a choice. Really enjoyed the night. Look forward to ending the season. Probably won't be talking to you again, probably because I won't be on the podium, but who knows? So awesome to get up here at least once this season.
Well, congratulations. Good to see you back fighting at the front. We talked about your story, about being a former champion, how that last win came about, and then all of a sudden the hospital and the hit and run and all that stuff. And we're just good to have you back here on a podium finish, get a chance to talk to you again. So, Nate, congrats, and we'll catch you at the next race.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys.
That is Nate Seifer with Rick Ravon helping him out. Hey, I've noticed that everybody has been shouting out the loved ones, the ladies. That is wise, very wise of all these drivers. shouting out the partner.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Yeah, I think that's I mean, it's a cheap
Give
pop.
them extra security, eh?
Right, yeah. I mean, it's like Mick Foley when he says, I'm in your city, and he says it over the PA at the wrestling when he's cutting a promo, right? Back in the day. It's a cheap pop,
Yep.
but man, it's a cheap pop that pays pretty well for these guys. So thanking their significant others for allowing them to race. Let's bring up Titus Sherlock.
We're kind of like how Scott Pruitt always says, "Welcome to my family," and says, "Hi to my family at home."
That's the way to do it. And right here, Titus Sherlock with the win, 7th career win in the Formula Indy Series, still 4th all time. 3rd win this season, 1st on the oval this season. I believe 1st in the oval in your career here in the Formula Indy Series. Congratulations. And man, it was a shootout there to the end. You didn't start the race or didn't start that restart. I think you started in 3rd or 4th, but man, by the time you guys got to turn 3, you were there. And was it a checkers or wreckers situation, or what was it like for you coming to the turn 3 at the end of the straightaway, coming to the checker flag? You probably used all your hybrid at least once, and you're probably on the 2nd deploy at that point. What were your thoughts going to the lead there, going into the north end of the racetrack?
Yeah, under the caution, I said I was either winning it or binning it. That was the plan, so it went well. And honestly, I can't believe it. I don't really do ovals. I've never really been good at them, but yeah, it went pretty good today. I guess it was just I've never even done an Indy race. Actually, I've never gone around here for a full race before.
Wow.
So I guess maybe the lack of experience helped me because of how high downforce the cars were. You didn't have to lift really, so it was pretty unique. But yeah, it was fun. It's kind of unfortunate that the other Eclipse cars weren't higher up because we were 1, 2, 3 for like a lot of that race. So yeah, it was really good. It was fun, and yeah, happy with that.
I don't know, man. With May coming up here soon, I don't know if your real schedule will allow it, but you got to try one of the fixed or open 500s then. If that's what you're able to do here, kind of in the FIS, you should be able to do well in one of those races. But let's talk about the race. I mean, it was very packy at all points in this race. Any close moments that you recall that you thought about sending it, but all of a sudden the hole closed on you? Cut any of those situations happen throughout the course of this event?
Oh yeah, I mean, most laps it felt like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times there was 3, 4 wide a few times. I mean, it was crazy. And to be honest, I'm surprised I finished. I definitely, after 15 laps, I was like, yeah, this is crazy. Like, there's definitely going to be a crash at some point. But everyone was really clean. I mean, it was very aggressive, but yeah, I mean, I didn't see any. I'm sure there's crashes at the back, but I didn't see any. So it was good racing, and it was fun. And even though we had some of those close moments, it always worked out. So it was good. And yeah, happy to have a first oval win, which is did not think I'd be saying that today. So good.
Well, shout outs, friends, family, sponsors. 7th career win, 3rd this season, 1st on an oval. I don't know if we have the updated points, but first of all, one of the things you have to do here is when you're done with this interview and you do your shout out, go to the refrigerator. I hope you have milk. Pour yourself a glass of milk, record yourself drinking it, because you only get to drink milk on certain occasions so many times. That's a big occasion. Other than that, you're just, drinking milk at dinner or whatever. But you gotta take a picture or a video of yourself drinking milk and enjoying this victory and put it on the Discord. So you definitely have to share that. But before we let you go, share your thanks and everybody out there that brought you to this point here, at least in the virtual world. Those shout outs, I know you got some people.
Yeah, I don't have milk. I wish I did. I would definitely do that, but I normally do, but I think I ran out yesterday. So
don't do orange juice. Just don't do orange juice.
That's got to be water then. I think that's the only other thing I have. But yeah, shout out to the Eclipse boys as always. We had some moments working together there, trying to kind of back up the field, kind of trying to stay too wide as much as possible to just kind of stay up front. Really, that was the strategy, is to stay up front, don't fall back. A lot of people were fuel saving, but we just kind of decided we weren't going to, and that's what we went with. So yeah, all the Eclipse boys, they did a great job today. Everyone was really fast, and all of our partners on the car, as always, Mosaic, Destination Athlete, ProGuard, everyone that supports us in real life as well. Thank you, and the admins, of course.
They're not going to take it away from you.
Yeah, and my girlfriend.
There we go. You got to, you got
to.
to. It's been a clean sweep of everybody thinking the girlfriends are the significant others. So you got to do that. You definitely have to do that. The admins, they can't take it away from you. Well, congratulations, Titus. Good to have you here. Go enjoy the win. Maybe get some milk tomorrow, but congrats on the win tonight. And we'll see you in a week to wrap up the season when we get to Watkins Glen.
Sounds good. Appreciate it.
Stevie, points have been updated. Chilcutt is your leader still, as we would expect. Gavin Sanders is still second, 37 points between first and second. And I think really the way that race unfolded for Chilcutt kind of kept things closer here at the end. 37 points between the top two, which will take the points battle, I believe, into the final race. I think it's 40 or 50 points for a win. I'll have to go back and look to be sure. The rule book is not at my fingertips right now, and I don't memorize all the rule books. Otherwise, I'd have like 8 rule books I have to remember, and I'm sure I'll get it wrong. But I think Gavin is still in position for a win, but it would really take, first of all, a big field. So we're talking 25 plus cars and probably Chilcutt to get taken out on the first lap, which can happen here in standing start leagues. And then Gavin would have to win that race, which we have seen happen. So it's still possible that we got a championship battle going into the final race. Titus Sherlock is now third. He's 76 back, so he will not be able to get to Chilcutt. He might, in a worst case scenario for Gavin, be able to get the second. Caleb Bency is in fourth. Logan Edwards falls 2 positions to fifth. Tanner DeFavis falls 1 position to sixth. Fairbarn maintains seventh and is coming out of this week in seventh. Costello maintains eighth, coming out in eighth. Zach Flaum up 1 more spot with the top 5. So the only driver to get all top 5s this season on the ovals is Zach Flaum. He comes home. He actually is going to be 9th in the championship. And Kevin Tomba, very quietly, still in the top 10. He's 10th. He lost the position, but he's still there. And that is your top 10 in points. But talk about the race outside of the first 8 laps. So the first 20 miles, we didn't get really a chance to see. But after that, the gloves were off and the race was on. And Titus Sherlock wins by 9 thousandths. We've seen closer finishes here at Indianapolis. But still, photo finishes the businesses here with this car at this racetrack. And we got another one today.
Sorry, just something came up on my end. But yeah, it is still technically up for grabs next time out at Watkins Glen. So it's going to be very interesting to see the conclusion of the series, and everyone wants to get the win in the final race as well. So it may require a minor miracle or two for Gavin Sanders to be in contention for the championship, but we've seen strange things happen, and strange things can happen any given week. So, and especially with season finales, a lot of strange things do tend to happen. So we'll see what happens next time out at Watkins. So it'll be a fun season finale. That is for certain. You won't want to miss it.
All right. And it sounds like everybody has something going on right now. So we'll just get on out of here and give everyone back their Wednesday night. So that's it for tonight. Once again, your podium here from Indianapolis for the 5th running of the FIS Indy 250. Titus Sherlock gets the win. Yet to be a repeat winner here. 5 races, 5 different winners here at the Brickyard. Nate Seifert comes home in second, and Logan Spath in third. Best finishes of the season for both Nate and Logan, and the best place to do it here at the world's most famous racecourse and the racing capital of the world, Indianapolis. Join us again next week for Championship Wednesday and round 12 of Season 8 of the Formula Indy Series. We head to Watkins Glen to decide the Season 8 championship. Coverage begins around 8:20 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that's 8:20 p.m. Eastern. Remember, as always, for the correct time in your area, you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com/@P1 Broadcasting. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game is not an easy one, so please help support P1 with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you thought of tonight's race. If you enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe, and while you're at it, hit the bell for weekly reminders so you don't miss out on more P1's other iRacing programming, including our open wheel road racing Monday night doubleheader. Race 1 starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time with the Indy Open Series top split, followed by at 9 p.m. Eastern Time with the Indy Next Road Series top split. If you like open wheel Indy style well, road racing. We know you do if you're watching the Formula Indy Series, even though we're on an oval night, and you're watching this. And make sure you make P1 your home on Monday nights. Formula Indy Series is brought to you by Sim Racing Warehouse. Looking to take your sim racing setup to the next level? Check out Sim Racing Warehouse. From high-quality wheels and pedals to accessories that bring the track right into your home, they got everything you need to race harder, smarter, and faster. Plus, for a limited time, you can save 5% off with the coupon. Just type in SRW House in the coupon code section on checkout to save 5% more. All the links you need are in the description. For business inquiries, to learn more about P1 and what we do, like us on Facebook. You can follow us on X and Instagram. You can follow all of our social links on Linktree, or you can check them out in the description. So for Stevie Larkamp, everyone here at Sim Racing Warehouse, Formula Indy Series, and at P1, I'm Gary Gotzo, the voice of the FIS, saying all, good night. Thanks for watching, and all of our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again next week at Watkins Glen, where we will decide our Season 8 champion in the next race of the Formula Indy Series on P1. Good night and Happy New Year.